secret technique has many uses. It can be used in various types of presentations in mentalism. I have been using this technique for quite some time with great success, and it is impossible for the spectators to understand how it is possible. And the best part is, it is extremely easy to do. You can perform it for a large gathering, and you can perform it surrounded. Hello everybody, I'm Kaushik Biswas and you are watching my channel Kaushik Biswas Magic. Welcome to my channel. Every week I'm uploading several magic and mentalism tutorials on this channel. So if you have come for the first time, or if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I'll request you please support me by subscribing my channel. If you like this video, please strike the like button, share this video with your friends, and write in the comments how you enjoyed this tutorial and how your spectators enjoyed this mentalism effect. Don't forget to strike the bell icon for new upload notifications. Without much ado, let me explain you what the audience is going to see, and then I will show you the secret technique. There is nobody here today, but let us assume that you are performing before 10-15 people or more than that, and you invite somebody on stage to help you in this particular test. You ask the gentleman who has come to help you to think about one of the objects in the room or in the auditorium. He's thinking of the camera. That is what he is thinking of. You have absolutely no idea. Now, ask the spectator not to tell what he is thinking of. He has to concentrate upon the object he is thinking of, in this case the camera. And then you ask him, you show him a whiteboard and you hand him a whiteboard marker pen. You ask the spectator to write his thought of object anywhere. So he can write it on the top, somewhere here, in the middle, or below here, or at the bottom. It is up to him. He has to write it in such a way so that some other objects can also be written above or below his objects. It can also be at the top of all other objects he is writing, but that would be very obvious. Or he can also write it at the bottom. But it is better if he writes the object he is thinking of somewhere in the middle, leaving some space for the other objects to write on. So let us say that he writes his thought of object, that is camera, somewhere here. So he writes camera without showing you. You are turning away, and he is also not showing it to the audience. So he writes camera. So here is camera, C-A-M. So here is the object. I think you can read it. And you are turning away. You don't turn around, and then you give some more instructions. You tell him to write down 4 other objects which he is not thinking of anywhere here. I mean, on the remaining spaces. So there are altogether 5 objects. So let us say he writes chair over here, C-H-A-I-R, chair. He writes chair. Here he writes table, T-A-B-L-E, table. And here he writes maybe light, L-I-G-H-T. He writes light. And one more object he writes, maybe he writes whiteboard. So these are the objects he has written above and below his thought of word, that is camera. And when he has done, you turn around and you look at the objects, hold it in front of his face and ask him to close his eyes and concentrate upon the very word he is thinking of. He closes his eyes and he is thinking of camera. Now what you do, you just rub off all these objects which he is not thinking of, all these objects. I forgot my duster. Anyway, and then you ask him, what is the word in your mind? He will say camera. You dramatically turn it around and see and show him that all other objects have been erased. Only what remains is his thought of word. A fantastic mentalism effect. You can perform it on stage or in a platform situation for a large group of audience, and everything seems to be very miraculous because there is no gimmick involved anywhere. And don't go away after knowing the secret, because there are many presentations that I'll discuss here. So you can have a lot of presentations in your back and you can perform anyone you like to amaze your spectators. So let us get into the secret. No special instruments are required. A whiteboard, a marker pen, and you are ready to perform. The secret depends upon one secret move is there. Now I'll tell you, when you invite only one spectator for this test to help you on the stage, or you can perform this for 4 or 5 people. Let us suppose that you have invited one spectator, as I said in the presentation, during the presentation, and he is thinking of the word, say, chair. This time he is thinking of chair. So he decides to write chair over here. C-H-A-I-R. Now the secret is very simple. When he writes the first word, what you do is that you ask him to hold the slate facing down, and then you just show what he has written. So when there is only one spectator, you show the word and ask the spectators to remember what he is thinking of. Now as you show this to the spectators, what you do, you just hold your hand like so and pull your finger like this. Now if you do this, one of the letters he has written, a little bit portion of that letter will be erased because you are just swiping your finger across the board. So the action should be like this. You just take the board from him and say that I'm not looking, but I want all the spectators to know what he is thinking of. And as you say this, you hold your hand here at the top and then just swipe it across like so up to the bottom and then show it to the spectators. Now as a result, what has happened, that you can see that a portion of the H has been erased. See, this part has been erased. Now you hand it over to him again and ask him to write down the other objects. Then it will be the only object with some portion erased because of your finger swiping across the whiteboard. Now this is a very simple move, very natural move, because he has written it. You just take it facing down, the writing side is down, and you just hold it over here, and as you say that I want everybody to know what is the word he is thinking of, just don't tell me, just remember it. You just swipe your hand as you move from this side to this side, and then turn it facing down to the spectators, and they look at the word, they read the word in their mind and they remember it. You then hand it over to the spectator and say that there may be some white space at the top or the bottom, and you need to fill up with 4 more objects which you are not thinking of. Now he can write here camera, light, fan, air cooler, air conditioner, anything he wants to write, and then he hands this to you. When he hands this to you, you can easily make out which is the first word he has written, and that is the very word that has a little bit of portion erased because of your finger. So you can very well see. Let us say that there are 5 spectators standing on the stage, and you ask each of them to think of a person who is alive, and one of them is thinking of somebody who is no more in the world, who has died maybe a long time ago, but he should not be any famous person and known to everybody. So he should be someone he only knows, him or her. So let us say he is thinking of a person who is no more in the world, and his name is, say, Alice. So he writes Alice anywhere. Let us say he writes Alice, A-L-I-C-E, Alice. He writes Alice over here. You take this board from him, and the others are standing over, and as you turn around to the other spectators, what you do is swipe. You do the swiping motion, and this swiping motion will obviously erase a portion of his text, of his writing. Now you hand this over to others, and let us say somebody writes David. Someone writes David over here. Kaushik. So these are the names. If it is shown to you, it is impossible for you to know who is the dead man or the dead person out of these, because all are written in a jumbled up situation, jumbled up order. So when you look at the names, you can very well understand that a portion of almost the vertical line of L has been erased with your finger. But you can notice that because this is the only word, only name which has an erased portion. You look at it and you immediately know who is the dead man, and it is Alice. Now you ask some silly questions. So this is another presentation. It can be a much more better presentation if you give it a thought. I'm just discussing several ideas that is coming to my mind at the spur of the moment. But what I prefer to do is the object test. With a single person, he thinks of one of the objects seen in the room. He writes it anywhere, as I've shown in the presentation. You show the word to everybody and you know what he is thinking of. Just play around with the idea, play around with the secret, and many ideas will come to you. Lie and truth detection, living and dead test, object, what object he is thinking of. I hope you have enjoyed today's tutorial. Please give it a try and let me know how you have framed up a fantastic presentation around this secret and entertained your audience. See you again next time in the next video. Till then, bye bye. Enjoy performing.